Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Cancer. If Cancer is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. Okay, let's get started. And let's take a look. What do these tea leaves have to say? Hopefully you all are doing well. And I wanted to mention the card that I pulled for this reading. Every reading I pull at least one card to kind of help me narrow down kind of the theme, maybe the area, the vibe, the frequency we might be looking at. It doesn't always coincide with the reading, but sometimes it really does. So tonight we have the Magus, okay, the Magician, the world creator. And this is from the Thoth deck, and absolutely makes sense for a Cancer to have the Magus being pulled. Not to disparage any other sign, because they all have their magical qualities, but I would say that if I were going to pick any sign to be a practitioner, magician, holy person, magical holy person, I should say, it would be a Cancer for sure. That would be the first one to come to mind. Okay, so let's see. Let's start with, where do we want to go? I want to start with this actual crab that just seems to be so prominent. It's in this emotional space going up into this like highly spiritual, metaphysical zone right up on the rim. Has one claw up there, one claw over here in the emotional, and the foot grounded in the physical. So this is obviously the Cancerian crab, right? But I feel like this is very much related to feeling so activated in the realm of selfhood and feeling confident about your being. You're in a good emotional space, creative. I know we're always talking about your creative endeavors, Cancer, or your, business, work, these kinds of things. I think that these are kind of the zones you really focus on. But I feel like everything is just really kind of going well for you. You are feeling so much yourself, right? And whatever that means to you, I feel that you are very activated in the archetypes that you have spent a lot of time kind of synthesizing, exploring, and integrating in such a way that like it feels like you're at home in your own body, in your own mind, in your own spirit when these archetypes are like kind of close to the forefront. And what do I mean by this? Actually the Magician, the maybe the Hermit, okay, and well, it could be any other number of archetypes depending on you yourself and your own experience, but definitely those two come to mind as far as kind of really going about things in your own way, authentically, yourself, doing all the things the way that you have kind of taught yourself or have, learned you've learned the skills, but you have made them your own as well. And I think that that's a big thing. I think that you often like to work alone. You probably on some level like to be alone, pretty solitary. That doesn't mean you don't have people around you, but you're in your own space, in your head, in your interior world a lot. And where the magician comes in, it's very much kind of that architect of not only your projects, but your spiritual endeavors, your magical endeavors. Very self-motivated, big on research, obtaining materials that you need for the work that you're doing. And also, not always great at completing all of those projects, but the ones that you do take care with, they are done with precision. Okay, so I think that this is just, a really good time. And I think with my readings, if I can remember correctly, we've kind of been vacillating between wanting to kind of do things by yourself, working on projects yourself, being a little burnt out at times, and, having some collaborative work come up. And I think this is definitely kind of more of a solitary kind of space that you're in. But I do want to mention, I was thinking about this as I was getting ready to do this reading, and there is kind of this sense that with this crab here, which kind of verifies this line of thinking that I had going, it seems that, at times in your life, you have had something akin to what they call imposter syndrome. And so what that is when you in your life feel like you are an imposter in the things that you're doing. Even within, sometimes people feel, in their own families, they are pretending. Within their own identities, they are pretending to be something that they aren't. They're an imposter. I think more often than not, this is also kind of within, social, the social constructs that we all have to play into to, whatever degree that we do. But also, like, I'll give you an example. For me, it was like becoming a mom, right? I still feel at times I'm like really tripped out by the fact that I'm a mom, especially of a toddler now. And I feel like I'm pretending. I'm like not, this isn't, really to the point where like, it's very brief moments, but it just really, takes me aback. And I think that's really, normal, especially when something is pretty new to you. Or, it's something that you get into quickly, right? I think this happens a lot, like people who have some kind of success in their field relatively quickly. There's not a lot of time, like a expansive time to kind of create an identity within the work that you're doing. You just find something that you do well, and all of a sudden you're doing, you're gaining some notoriety for it. You're doing well in your field, whatever. And you can kind of feel like people don't really know that I don't know what I'm doing, or I don't understand why they think I'm so good at this. I'm not that great at that. This kind of like this, but to an extreme. So I feel like this is something that you have dealt with in different parts of your, in your life. But I feel like at this time, are really relating deeply to yourself and to the things that you have chosen to fill your time with, and kind of the different fragments of identity that you have kind of turned into this composite of selfhood. And I say composite of selfhood, we all are, right? We're all little pieces of different things, and that's kind of the beauty of life, almost even the magician, right? Creating something out of many things. And so I think that there's really a confidence arising out of this place that you're in. Now, I also see a mouth, lips, mouth open, okay? And I feel like there's a lot of almost kind of talking happening. It almost feels like maybe it feels like it's at you to some degree. I feel like maybe you have somebody in your life who just really talks a lot to you, is constantly reaching out to you. I feel that this is not necessarily a bad thing, but it just seems like more kind of chatter and noise in your life than normal. And this is kind of taking some getting used to for you. I think that this maybe is partially why you are, a little bit more in a mode of letting go of kind of being among people, working with others right now, maybe kind of turning inwards, doing some like solo projects and things. And then we see here we have a vacuum, okay? And I seem to remember talking about you cleaning up your workspace and tidying up, organizing something in one of the readings, maybe last reading or maybe the reading before. But I think this is still kind of an energy that is flowing through your life. This is in that physical zone. It seems that you need to do a little bit more cleaning. No, just kind of, for your own creative process, your own work process, and also just, keeping that mental health together. I think that you are definitely a person who functions more well, I guess, under more organized circumstances, okay? Like getting the things off the floor, cleaning up the stacks of stuff that are around, putting things away, finding places to put things if they don't already have a home, right? And maybe even decluttering some of the stuff that is not useful anymore, okay? And I think that this is something that you don't mind doing. I don't think that you are adverse to cleaning. I think that you don't prioritize it all the time, okay? And I don't mean the normal amount of cleaning, maybe a little bit deeper cleaning. And I think that once you get into the mode, you do enjoy it. You do enjoy taking care of your things and, putting them away and honoring them as things that add value to your life. But, I think time gets away from you. And you're probably a very busy person, as most of us are. So I think, prioritizing in the next week or so, getting that stuff kind of cleaned up will definitely add to your life, not detract from it. Okay. And I want to look at, we have this beautiful deer. It looks like it's almost wearing a crown. It looks like the king of the forest, queen of the forest. We also have some birds kind of up here gazing down. And I think that this is a good indication to me that you have a very significant sacred encounter in the process of happening or happening soon. Okay, and I think that likely this will be something that is very emotionally stirring. I think that this will be powerful. You will know exactly when it happens. And I think that this maybe will be through dreams. With the birds kind of hovering over, I believe that this will be important messaging for you. I think that, you know, there's been kind of a story of, I think some letting go in these readings for you, Cancer, and maybe some you know, opening of the heart. Okay, and you know, however that looks for you, whatever that means for you, of course, that is for you to determine. But I think that this is kind of an ongoing interior ordeal that is happening. I think there's an amount of confrontation happening. I feel like this deer is very akin to the heavy lunar energy. Of course, Cancer is in relation to the moon, to La Luna, and there will always be an amount of lunar energy, but this is even more so. And I think that during this period of time, there has been some spiritual and emotional distortions privately. I think that even it seems like this feeling of misconnection to some kind of interior intelligence, or you know, something really trying to come to the forefront of your psyche, and the space just hasn't been there. The window is not open. The doors are not open. So I think that, you know, allotting some energy, time, focus on receiving these messages, receiving this spiritual encounter, blessing, revelation, inspiration, whatever it is, will be important. So if that means doing some meditation, intentional, you know, visual work, vision work, active imagination, dream work, whatever it is, whatever your medium, it could be even divination, scrying, these kinds of things as well. I think that is, you know, another factor here that is really important. And I feel like this has been coming through but for a while. But I think that with this deer and with this beautiful kind of, you know, crown upon its head, this is kind of like, you know, the most elevated of these sacred deer, so to speak. So I think that this is important. This is important. They've like sent out their best messenger, right? So pay attention. Okay, now we have kind of this seated figure here reaching up. It looks like there's a serpent kind of in the sky. I do think that this is kind of a, you know, kind of a little on the nose there a bit, but reaching for kind of that divine knowledge, that revealed inspiration, revealed knowledge, being in this kind of seated, devotional, and receptive posture. Again, I think has to do with implementing some of the your chosen techniques, and you know, giving, the big thing here that keeps coming to my mind is allowing yourself the time. I think that's the biggest thing. I think that you have the tools, you have the understanding, You even have the experience. It's just that life gets busy and you don't always prioritize this sacred work. And, you know, of course, that happens to us all. So I'm not, you know, coming from a place of judgment or, you know, I'm not standing on any kind of higher ground here. I am just as fallible as anybody else, but I think this is an important time for you. And I think that finding a way and aligning your will to that will prove to be very beneficial. Okay, so I have a house motif here and then another one over here, formation, I should say. Two, and they kind of are mirroring each other. Okay, this one is more of the triangle with the diamond. This one is more squared. Okay, and I feel that this is interesting to me. This one is also surrounded by animals over here. We have kind of a goat. We have some kind of squirrel or something with a tail. And this one looks like maybe a duck. Okay, so I envision kind of a home that has a yard with animals, maybe a little farm. And this one over here kind of looks more like an ashram or some kind of temple, something a little more wooded. And I feel like you are kind of being pulled into different parts of your existence and your material life here. Okay, she's not coming right this way. And I believe that has a lot to do with, there's a lot of this, there's a lot of work and upkeep going on. Oh, don't scratch me, please. In your life, you know, just really the normal tedium, taking care of your animals, if you have animals, your children, if you have children, your family, your job, these kinds of things. It's not bad, though. I feel like it's, even to some would think, this is rather idyllic. And then on the other side of it, I feel this real draw towards that more solitary, contemplative, like kind of going to the woods, you know, up to the mountain, you know, having your time away from the normal, your normal social routines, going out in the world, probably working with others and this kind of thing. But I think really the story is about finding the balance between the two. If you can merge the two in some way, if you, you know, can find a way to split up the time, you know, and to have both of those things available to you in different ways and different times, something, you know, I think that something to consider, definitely. Okay, let's see what we have going here. Yeah, this one's interesting. I kind of see, strangely, like some kind of dish sitting on a table, like a large dish maybe, where you put fruit. Or maybe like a centerpiece of a table with, you know, flowers or, well, even something like this maybe. I just imagine like you kind of sitting there having a conversation and you're really focused on this bowl of some kind, this platter maybe. Kind of like folding your napkin as you're sitting there. And not necessarily a difficult conversation, but feeling suddenly very aware of your body, your little discomforts, maybe feeling kind of anxious about how you say things. When are you supposed to kind of interject. And I feel like these kinds of moments, when they happen, it really is something that you try to avoid so much. And I almost wonder if this is kind of linked to this person who you've been talking to a lot, or who has really been talking to you, at you a lot. But I feel like almost a sense of like wanting to escape. It's not necessarily bad or has anything personal to do with the person. That, you know, it's nothing, not a slight against them, but just the sense of wanting to, you know, get up and go to your own space, do what you want to do in that moment. But, you know, knowing that you must kind of endure this thing, this moment, to get through it. And, yeah, I don't know. I also see a top kind of spinning. We have a little bird and a little heart up here. I just, you know, ultimately I feel like there is just, you know, just a real acute awareness of these pieces of yourself. The top kind of sometimes feeling so wound up that you just could, you know, fly right off the table, spinning so quickly. In the little bird, I think, you know, to me that is very much about your ability to find... we have technical difficulty. I'm going to hurry up here. Your ability to find the beauty in things, in the subtle. You really appreciate just fine details and just being in the kind of the atmosphere around you. And I think that all this is kind of just coming into alignment. You're just really feeling, like, again, like I said, you're just feeling very much yourself, very confident. And I think that's beautiful. It's going to lend, you know, itself to your work in a way that is very powerful. Okay, I want to thank you so much for spending your time with me. I always am so thankful to be with you in this way, even if this is the only way. So, if you would be so kind as to like the video, it helps us get into the algorithm. It helps us, you know, gain more and more people here at the channel. Come on, Titi. And we are becoming quite a community, and most of you are so lovely, so thoughtful, so well-spoken, well-written, very just vulnerable, and sharing your stories, your feelings, your triumphs and hardships, and I appreciate that so much. And this cat's sitting over here licking herself, so sorry. Yes, if you would be so kind also as to subscribe, if you would like to, of course. You can hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next videos are coming out between now and 7 days from now, which every sign is read once a week. You can watch your other placements. Aside from that, if you want to leave a comment, I read all of them. I appreciate each one. I love connecting with all of you, every single one of you. And other than that, I want to thank you, and we will talk again very soon.